Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a travesty doing some more getting dirty in the tool set. Alright, this next one is going to be how to fix an issue with tile sets this time. Something different, no scripting or anything like that. And technically, this isn't actually going to be a fix, it's going to be more of a workaround. And the issue I'm talking about specifically for this one is the issue where you can actually see on the other side of a wall or the other side of a closed door. You shouldn't be able to see all that stuff on the other side of the wall. And I've actually noticed that issue a couple years ago, and I figured out a way to get around that. Because it's kind of immersion breaking, where you can see the room, for example, on the other side of a wall, but there's no way to actually get to that room, so you shouldn't technically be able to see that actual area. It should be all black until you actually go through a door and then go into the room, and then it'll reveal itself. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. There's two specific areas that I noticed it in Path of Evil. One of them was in the crypts in the Neverwinter module, or the intro module over in Neverwinter in Path of Evil. And the second time I saw it was in the Kassar module in, what was it, Ghazi's basement area, I think, like that. We're going to do a little bit of testing first, and before we make any changes to the Path of Evil modules to fix it, or to make this workaround, I want to test it in my own module, because otherwise it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to do all the fixes and stuff like that in one of my own modules. I have a personal testing module that I do all this stuff in. And you can make your own too, and I'll show you. If you go to your modules folder, as you can see, here's all the Path of Evil module folders in here, and I have two of my personal ones here, one called My Test and My Test 2. These are ones that I made in the toolset, and you can make your own. If you come up here to File and do New, and then make a new module, and then you can put whatever you want in there pretty much. But anyways, I'm going to grab those two areas that I just talked about, the Crypts one and the Ghazi's basement area, and I'm going to actually copy and paste them into my own modules. And I'm going to show you, it's so much easier doing it like that, because the saves take a fraction of the time to save the damn areas. It's if you try to save the areas in the Path of Evil module, it's going to take like 2 minutes for the damn area to save, because there's just so many damn model files and blueprints and all that stuff that it has to update and all that crap, and it takes forever. But anyways, let's get on with this. The first area was in the crypts, and that's in the Poe intro module. So let's go inside that. And let's see, it was called Poe 1 underscore crypts, and there it is. Now, like I said in previous episodes, area files always consist of 5 files. It's the area, the GIC, the GET, the trans, and the tracks file. We're going to copy all those. We're not going to cut it, just copy it. So Control C. And then let's go back up to my test module, and I'm just going to paste them right in here. And I'll be able to access them once we reload into my module. Now the next one was in the Kassar module, so let's go inside that one. And that one was called Kassar Ghazi Basement, I believe it was. So let's look for those files. It's going to be down here. Yeah, it's these 5 right here. So let's go ahead and copy all those. And then let's go up to my test module, and let's paste those in there too. Now when I load into my module, I'll be able to access these, and I can mess around with them all I want, and I don't have to worry about screwing anything up in the main Path of Evil module. So I can play around with them as much as I want. Alright, so let's go into the tool set, and let's go up into File, and I already have it stored in here as my test, so we're going to use that. But if you run in a directory, you just come up here to Open Directory, and then go down to your Modules folder, and then go to wherever yours is. Let's open up my test. Yeah, this is my personal one. I do all kinds of testing and stuff in here. It's not an actual playable module. I just test a bunch of crap in this. And now you can see those areas are here now in my list of areas. The Poe 1's crypts and the Kassar Ghazi basement, so we can tool around with these all we want. Let's go to this Kassar Ghazi basement one first. Let's double click on that and bring it up. Alright, this is the area in question that we need to mess with. Alright, first thing first, I want to get rid of that loud noise. That's being caused by an air elemental creature. And that's that instance right here. Let's see if we can click on it, and let's get rid of it. And there's another NPC standing right here. That's Ghazi. Let's get rid of them. We're not going to need them in the way. Alright, now something I got to tell you. When you transfer a module over from Path of Evil uses a lot of custom textures and stuff like that. So after I transferred this module over to my module, I do not have those texture files. So that means any texture files that were in place in Path of Evil are no longer in place now. So you have to sometimes check these tiles to make sure that they're not blank. If you come up here, there's a icon called tiles. If you click on that, then you can start clicking on all these tiles right here, or you can marquee it and just select a whole bunch of them, or you can hit the shift button too and select specific tiles if you want to do something like that. But anyways, let's take a look at one tile. If you see over here in its properties, you're going to see a ceiling texture, a floor texture, and a wall texture. As you can see, these are blank. Do not leave them blank. If you leave them blank like that and save it, in game, if somebody enters this area, it's going to cause the game to crash. I actually fixed like 2 or 3 modules that had this exact issue a couple years ago. People couldn't figure out, why the hell is my area crashing? This is why. If they're blank, do not leave them blank. Alright, so it looks like, I'm guessing every one of these tiles is blank. Yeah, in Path of Evil, this one used a custom texture files, or yeah, textures in this area. So here's what we're going to do. Since all of them are pretty much blank, let's select all these tiles. And now let's come up here to ceiling texture and hit that drop down arrow. And then we're just going to set it to the default one that normally is in there. Since this is an estate tile set, we're going to look for the estate textures. As you can see, there's one here. Ceiling 1, Ceiling 2, Ceiling 3. You can pick whichever ones you want, whichever ones that look good on it. And let's go down to the floor texture and do the same thing. Look for Estate Floor 01, and finally the wall textures. Let's go to Estate Wall 01. And you can play with that on your own. Like I said, you can change the textures and everything on the walls and the ceiling and the floor and all that stuff. So since we had them all selected, these properties should be now input into every individual tile. So let's take a look at them. Yep, as you can see, no matter which one we click on, all of them now have something in all 3 of those properties, and that's the way we want it. Now the next thing I want to do before we do any more testing in here is check and see if there's any encounters. And I can tell you right now, I know there's 2 encounter triggers in here. And if you really want to find out where the encounter triggers are, if you come up here to show hide, you got one up here called encounters, and there's another one called triggers. Now encounters look just like triggers. It's these yellow boxes here. If you click on this encounters one and uncheck it, you're going to see them disappear. Yeah, that's the encounter ones right there. Those are triggers that if you walk across them, it's going to spawn creatures in the area for you. That's what an encounter trigger is. And let's bring that back on. And just to show you, let's go to a trigger one. If you uncheck that one, all the real normal triggers will disappear. Those are just regular triggers. You don't have to worry about those. Let's just bring them back. So getting back to the subject at hand, I want to find these encounter triggers and deactivate them because I don't want any creatures spawning in us while we're testing this. If you're still on tiles, just click on one of these other ones over here, like select objects, so you can actually select something. So if you still have tiles selected, you won't be able to select objects. It only selects the tiles. So we want to select these objects, so let's come up here to select objects. Now let's grab a hold of that. Now in encounter triggers, you can actually shut them off or turn them on right here from this active property right here. As you can see, it's set to true right now. Let's just uncheck that so it's now deactivated. And the same with this one over here. Let's turn that one to false so it's deactivated. Now while we're testing here, we also need to set a starting point. There's another icon up here that says set start location. Click that and then click anywhere on the map, and that's where you're going to start from. So as soon as we try to test this module, that's where your character is going to start from. Normally they come right through here down the stairway, so let's just put the start right there. And then click over here to select objects again so you can move it around if you want to. Just move this to wherever. Now this little red circle, all that says is this is where the party is going to start from when they first load up into this module. For testing purposes, yeah, we need to have it right here. I can put it anywhere I want, but in a regular module though, like in Path of Evil, try not to mess with it because it's probably been set there for a reason, wherever they're set at currently. So But while we're here in this testing module, I can do whatever I want. Like I said, I can move all this junk around. We're not going to change the Path of Evil module at all. So, but for testing purposes, once I load into this, that's where we're going to start from, right there. Now, what I'm going to show you once we load into this is once we get into these rooms, in game, you shouldn't be able to see these rooms that you haven't been into as long as there isn't a clear path going to it. So if there's a closed door or a wall that's completely blocking one of these hallways, you shouldn't be able to see it. These hallways should not reveal themselves to you. But unfortunately, this one right here does. These specific tiles right here. These ones right here will reveal themselves, and I'm going to show you in game. Alright, so I think we're ready to go in. Let's go ahead and come up here to File, and there is a Run Module button right here. That's going to start us, and we're going to show up right here at that little red start point. So let's go ahead and run it. Alright, here we are in game. Let's get a little bit of night vision going on. Now as you can, here's the start point. Remember the little red symbol I put on the floor? That's exactly where we started from. And as you can see, the only thing you can see is this area right here in the hallway. If you look on the map, there's nothing else revealed. But once we open up this door, we're going to be able to see the next room. And that's normal, but I'm going to show you the issue at hand. Let's move up here to this door. Alright, as you can see, we revealed this room, but now we can also see this hallway right here. And you can see there's no door or anything. Why are we seeing this? We should not be able to see this. This hallway should not have revealed itself. And that's what we're going to fix. I know what's wrong, and there's not really a fix per se, but there is a workaround, so this hallway will not reveal itself to us later on once we walk into this. Alright, so let's check these other ones. Let's go through this door right here. Yeah, see, it's only showing that room that you can see. And if we go over to this door right here, let's open up this one. Once you open a door, it will reveal itself right here. And let's go back over to this door right here, and let's look in this one too. It only reveals up to the next door. Alright, so that's what we're going to fix. So let's get out of here. Alright, here we are back in here. Now I can tell you right now the issue is a tile issue. Or, like I said, I knew about this problem a few years ago, and I know a workaround to get around it. The issue is this specific tile right here. For some reason, this tile in this position, in this variant, for some reason reveals the tile that is on this corner. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about later on here. Yeah, for some reason this tile has some kind of crazy bug in it. And this is a stock estate tile. And you can see it, you can tell it's an estate tile. If you look up here, it says TL, that means tile, and then the ES means it's an estate tile. If you come over here to your tiles selection, you're going to see there's a tile name called estate. That's the tiles we're going to be dealing with here. Now if you look further on, it says WWWC. That means, I think, wall, corner, or something like that. And then the 01 means it's the first variant. And if you look down here into the properties, you can see number of variations. There's a number 12 there. That means there's 12 different variants of this particular type of tile. And let's see, something else that's kind of important down here. You can see a tile X position and tile Y position. That's a grid coordinate of this tile on this map. So if you can see, this one here is tile, the XY position is 2, 2. But if you click on this one, the tile position is 2, 3. And if you click on this one, it's tile position 2, 4. So that's just a grid positioning. That comes in handy too, knowing that sometimes if you're talking to the owner of the mod, you can say, hey, tile 2, 2 is bad. You need to fix it. And he should know what you're talking about. Alright, so what we're going to do, and I'm going to show you something that's really crazy. It's going to drive you nuts here. If you want to change these tiles, always delete the tile first and then place down a new one. Don't try to make a new tile and put it over the top of an old one, because I've seen it screw up and it won't take place. It won't actually set the way you want it to. So click on the tile you want to deal with and just delete and get rid of it. Alright. Now, while we got this deleted, I want to show you something else. I'm going to go ahead and bake this. let's come up here to File, and you can see bake current area, and also Control Shift B is another way to do it. But just click this, and it's going to bake this whole area right here. Now, if we hit the walk mesh, the surface mesh button, you can see we can't walk there because that tile's missing. The only places you can walk is on these green triangle places. But I'm going to show you now. Now that we baked it without this tile, let's go ahead and go back into game and then see what it looks like from there. So let's go ahead and run module. Alright, here we are in game. Let's go through the door. So that's what it looks like when there's nothing baked there. But now, notice that you cannot see that hallway that was over here before. That kind of gives you a clue that the issue is this specific tile, like I said, and I already know it is. Alright, I just wanted to show you that. Now let's get out of here again. Alright, now what we're going to do is in place a new tile, but we're going to use a different variant this time. Alright, let's go to tiles, and let's pin this over so we can take a look at it. Now the one we need is a 2-wall with a 1-corner pillar. As you can see, there's a pillar right here, so we got to make sure we got that pillar piece. So if you look at these little tile types right here, kind of look at which one you want. You want a 2-corner one with a pillar, and as you can see, here's one right here. A 2-wall one with a corner pillar. You see a little blue dot? That represents a little corner pillar. And as you can see, the ES means it's an estate tile. And then there's a number 12, meaning it's got 12 different variants, and I'm going to show you what that means here in a second. So click on this one. That's the one we want to use. Now if you move your mouse, you can see it's going to show that tile right there. Here, let's put it off to the side so you can see what we're dealing with. Now, on your keyboard, this is where you're going to use your up, down, and left and right arrows. What we want to do is rotate it into the corner, because right now it is not in the right rotated position. So put your mouse wherever you want to place a tile, and then use your left and right arrow buttons to rotate it so it's set where you want it. As you can see right there, in that position is the position we want. But if you keep rotating it to the left, now you can see the corner goes there, and then the corner goes there, and then the corner goes there, and then back to original. Alright? So make sure it's set in a position, and including the little corner piece right there on that pillar. Now, that was the original tile. Now, if you use your up and down arrow keys, now you can change the variants. Remember, there was 12 variants. This is the original variant, the default variant. So it's variant number 1. So if we hit the up arrow, and we're going to go to variant 2. See, now it adds a couple, three pillars right here, so it's a little bit different. If you hit the up arrow again, now it's the next variant where the pillars are on this wall now. And it just keeps cycling up, and you can see now it might add windows on those walls, and it just keeps cycling. Now it's got windows and pillars, and it's different variants. Remember, there's 12 different variants we found out, okay? But we don't want to add windows in this one because there's no windows on the opposite walls, right? So the only thing we have available to us is something with those pillars on it, because this one we don't want to use. This was the original variant, variant number 1, with nothing on the walls. So let's just do the up arrow again, just add those 3 pillars. Now click your left mouse button, and that's going to set it in place. Now that you're still going to have an instance on your mouse, so wherever you move it, once you want to get out of it, just hit the escape button to get out of that, okay? So now we got this new variant right here set, and it's got these 3 little pillars that are different right here. Ignore this stuff here. These are placeables. Let's go up here to select object. These little shelf things, those are placeables that Kamal added. Those have nothing to do with the tiles, okay? So just ignore them. We're only dealing with, in this rug too, this is a placeable. We're only dealing with these tiles though. So let's go back up here to tiles, select the tile. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bake this. Remember, it was Control Shift B, or clicking over there. So let's just hit Control Shift B, and then let's rebake it. Now let's look at the bake. Let's come up here to surface mesh. As you can see, it is baked. And now there's a little bit, yeah, it's making lines around these pillars too, so that's unwalkable, so you can't walk through those pillars right there. Now that we have that different variant in here, let's test it now. Let's come up here and let's go run module. Alright, here we are in the first hallway. Now let's go through the door. Now notice you cannot see that hallway that's on the other side of this wall now. And I don't know why it is, but that particular variant in that position causes you to reveal, or causes the game to reveal what's on the other side of the wall. But we don't want to do that because you shouldn't be able to see that, right? So we're pretty much stuck with using this tile here, this variant with the 3 pillars, which isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? But it's just kind of annoying that you have to do that in the first place. Alright, let's go through this here just to make sure we can't see anything. Yeah, you can't see that hallway from there. So let's come back over to this one. Let's go through this door. And you should only see these 3 tiles here. Yep. Now the only time you should see that particular hallway is if you actually open a door to it like that. There you go. Now you can reveal it. Alright, same with this door back here. You shouldn't be able to see it until you actually open a door and look into it. Okay, so that's just making you aware that some of these variants are screwy like that. For some reason, these tile variants will reveal what's on the other side of the damn wall. And that's not just this estate tile. I've seen this in cave tiles as well. And I've seen it with different types as well. So, alright, let's get out of here. I think that's not a bad looking variant either with those 3 pillars like that. We don't want to have the 3 pillars on this wall because Kamal's got these placeables on the wall right here. We don't want to have, let's see if we select that. If we don't want to have that, well, I guess that would be okay too. It's not interfering with any of those placeables. That doesn't look too bad, but this one's okay. I think we're just going to leave it like that when we actually go in and fix it. Now, like I said in previous videos, with these area files, these are ran from module folders. So if you make any changes to this, it is not going to be save game compatible. But I think I did explain to you in one of my previous episodes where you can actually put this in your override folder, but that's only for testing purposes only. Because like I said, once you enter that area, while this area file is in your override, it's going to reset the area every time you go back into it as if you were never there. So any kind of creatures that you killed before, or any traps that you disarmed, or any stuff that you looted out of objects, it's all going to be reset as if you never touched them. So the creatures are going to be back, the traps are going to be back, everything that was inside containers will all be there again. So keep that in mind. Just use that only for testing purposes in your override folder. Okay, so I think we got that sorted out. Everybody can understand what's going on there. Now the next thing I want to show you something is why this only affects in this particular positioning. Because as you can see, there's another tile. This tile over here is the same tile as this one, but it's just rotated different. But this one does not reveal this hallway. So that tells you right there the actual rotation of the tile has an effect on how it reveals things. And I'm going to show you something. Let's go to one of my little other testing areas here. Let's go to this interior one right here. This is the one I use to test things with. Let's go to this tile piece right here. And let's use the first variant. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a 4-cornered room with these 4 tiles, with the little pillar in the center. So let's set one there, and then move it over here to the right, and then rotate it, make a corner, rotate it again, make a corner, and rotate it again, make a corner. Alright, so like that, there's no doors or anything over here now. Now the next thing I want to do, let's use one of these little square room ones right here. Let's try this one right here. Let's use this as a test bed. Let's place one here, one here, one here, and then rotate it so the doors are facing outward. Let's place one here, and then one here, and then rotate it again so the door is facing outward. Place it there, there, and there, and then rotate it again, and then there, there, and there. Now, let's bake this. Control-Shift-B. And now I'm going to set the start point right in here somewhere. And that's now where we're going to start. Now, this will determine which tiles are going to reveal which areas on the other side of the current ones that we have right here on the other side of the wall. So let's go ahead and run the module. Alright, Now look, see? This corner tile right here, for some reason the diagonal one to it is always revealed, but they're not revealed on any of the other ones. Isn't that interesting? So the rotation position of that tile has a significant impact on what is revealed beyond the wall. That's kind of screwy, but just be aware of that. That's why a lot of times you can see things through walls or on the other side of the walls, which you shouldn't be able to, because there's no obvious way you should be able to see that tile right there. Alright, but in any other position, this first variant is fine. As you can see, there's nothing being revealed beyond the walls here. Only in this rotation position, in this particular setup right here. Alright, now let's go back into that. Okay, now this time we're going to change it to a different variant. This is variant number 1, so let's change it to one of those other pillar variants again. So let's delete that tile again and place a whole new one. Like I said, don't try to place a new one over the top of one that was already there. And let's rotate it into position, and then let's change it to, let's go to that pillar one right there. And now click it right there, and then hit your escape button to get out of it. And now let's rebake it. Control Shift B. And now let's run it again. Alright. Now as you can see, that corner tile is no longer revealed because we have a different variant in here now. For some reason, variant number 1 in this rotation position causes that tile in the corner to reveal itself. And the reason that whole hallway revealed itself before is because those were open tiles connected to each other. So if it revealed this corner tile, since this corner tile was open to this hallway tile and this hallway tile over here, that means it revealed all three of them in that hallway. Isn't that crazy? But now you know. So if you run into an issue, try different variants, or even try a whole different, maybe a different tile type. I don't know. You can try all kinds of stuff, man. Alright, let's get out of this one. Alright, so now we know about Gazi's basement. Let's close out of this one. We don't need to get in there anymore. I'm not going to bother saving it. Now the next area was over here in the crypts. And we can close out of this one too, I guess. Let's go into the crypts area next. Alright, here we are. This was the area where we had to come down and rescue Kvas's mother back in Neverwinter. And let's see, before we continue on, let's select a couple random tiles and make sure the ceiling, floor, and wall textures aren't blank. Yeah, it looks like they're all right. All the cave ones. Yeah, they should be good. Alright, the area in question was right up here. This is where that wizard was. Let's see, what was his name again? Let's go to select object. So we got a little frame of reference. Yeah, that Zalir wizard and his crazy ass dog. But anyways, this room right here was revealing itself. Although the only way into it is through this door, and the door is closed, so it should not reveal itself. And I'm pretty sure it's one of these two tiles right here that's causing the problem. But let's go ahead and go in game. I put the start point right here ready so we can go ahead and take a quick look at it. So let's run it. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we go in there, though, let's get rid of these characters so they don't attack us. Let's go to select object. Yeah, I don't want them guys disturbing us. And let's move this over here a little closer. Alright, let's go inside. Alright, here we are. As you can see, yeah, that room is revealing itself right there. We shouldn't be able to see that because there's a door on it. Oh, and I think these doors are trapped. Yeah, you can see the door is closed on it, so we should not be able to see anything in there. Yeah, I want to remove those traps and those locks on those doors too so we can continue on doing some testing. So I'm suspecting it's this tile or this tile right here that's causing the problem, but we're going to figure it out. Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, now before I forget, let's go to this door. And while we're here, I can show you how to lock doors and everything too. If you click on a door, look at its properties, you're going to see this one property here called locked. You can see it's set to true. That means it's currently locked. Here's the open lock DC on it, and if you want it to be able to be locked again, you can set it to true. So if the rogue, unlocked it and then close it again, and then he can relock it. You can say if a key is required to open it, and here's a tag of the specific key you can put in there. And the close lock DC and the auto remove key. If this is set to true, the key that you have in hand will be removed from your inventory if you unlock it with a key. And here's a little feedback message. If you can't open it or a key is required, if you mess with it, whatever message you put in here will pop up over your character, so it'll let you know you can't open the store without a key or whatever, something like that. Alright, so we're going to set this to unlocked for testing purposes here. And down here, all the way to the end, is the traps. If that door is trapped, then you can see this option down here. It says trapped. If that's set to true, then it is trapped with all these other properties associated with it. We're going to set it to false though, so it's not trapped. Here's the disarm DC and trap detect DC. If the trap is even detectable or not, and if it's disarmable or not, and if it's one shot or not, right there. And the trap type. Here's where you can set whatever trap. There's all kinds of them. You can make them pretty powerful too, right there. And if the trap is active or not, right there. And if it's recoverable or not. But we're not gonna set it as trapped at all, so we're gonna set that to false for testing purposes. Alright, now it's definitely one of these two tiles that's causing the problem. It could potentially be this tile too, but I know it's not. It's one of these two here. So I don't want to delete both of these. So let's just delete one at a time and see if we can at least find out which tile it is. Let's delete this one. This is a cave tile. So if we come over here, yeah, you can tell it's obviously you can tell by looking at it it's a cave tile. But like I said, if you look up here now, it says CV. That's cave. Alright, so come up here to the cave tile sets, and this is obviously just a corner tile. Yeah, it's a WWX, and it's a 03. That means it's a third variant, this one right here. But this one over here is also a WWWX, but it's the first variant. Alright, and let's see how many variants are there. There's 6 variations of this tile. So these are the same tile, they're just different variants, and one is set to a different rotation position compared to the other one. Alright, so let's see. This one here, let's go ahead and delete this one first. This was tile 3, remember that. Or variant 3, I mean. So let's just delete that one. And now, let's rebake it. And let's go in game and see what it looks like then. Alright. Ah, yeah, it was that tile. See, you can't even see that room now. So it's got to be that tile. This tile right here is fine. This variant 1 in that rotation position is fine. So we need to change this tile right over here to sort this issue out. Let's exit out of here. Alright, so we're going to need a corner tile with no pillar. So it looks like it's going to be this one with 6 different variants. Let's set it in there. Let's rotate it into position. This is variant 1. Variant 2 and variant 3. Let's try variant 2. That one looks actually kind of pretty good there. Let's go ahead and click and put that one in place. And let's escape. Yeah, that one should be alright, I think. Alright, now let's rebake it. Control Shift B. Yeah, and these take a little bit longer to bake because this is a fairly large area compared to the other one that we're messing with. Alright, now let's go inside the game and see what it looks like. Alright, let's take a look. Nope, that one's not going to work either. See how the room over there is revealed? Yep. Yeah, that's something I noticed too. It's possible that tiles have multiple variants that are revealing beyond the wall. So let's get out of here. Alright, let's delete that tile. That was variant 2. So we know variant 2 and variant 3 are no good. Variant 1 we know is for sure alright, but like I said, we don't want it exactly the same as this one. Let's make it look a little bit different here. Alright, let's rotate it into position again. That's variant 1. Variant 2 is no good. Variant 3 is no good. Now let's go to variant 4. Let's give that one a shot. Alright. Yeah, it's variant 4. Let's go ahead and bake it. Hopefully this one will work. Alright, and let's run again. Alright, keep your fingers crossed. Nope! So that variant is not going to work for us either. Damn, that sucks. That looks pretty cool too. That variant in there. Alright, let's go back in. Let's delete that tile. Yeah, that's variant 4. So we only have 2 more variants to check. Let's rotate into position and let's go 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's got a... Well, that one's not going to work either. That one's got a pit right there, and there's a placeable right there that's hanging over the edge. So let's try 6. Alright, that one, yeah, it looks different. That one probably will work. Let's click it to put it into place. I wish it wasn't so much space in it, though, but it still looks okay, I think. Yeah, alright, let's bake it. Alright, yeah, this is variant 6. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and run it. Ah, yes, that one will work. See how you can't even see that room now? Yep, completely hidden. Yeah, I guess that'll be alright. There's just a lot of space back here. I would have preferred something that was more out here, but we don't really have a choice. Unless we use variant 1, but I don't want to use the exact same one, but to be honest, that one... It looks kind of similar to that one too, doesn't it? But oh well, that'll work. At least you can't see it over there. Now let's go back over to this room and let's go through the door, and it should reveal itself. Yep. Now you can get in there. All right. So that's that. Let's get out of here. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, so now we know what we can do to fix these particular areas. So we can go actually into the Path of Evil areas and then change them and save them. Now be advised though, once you save it from a Path of Evil module folder, the save takes like a minute or two to actually do a full save, because it's got to save every damn blueprint in the whole damn module. So, and it takes quite a while. So keep that in mind when you do saves from within those games. And then what you're going to do after that is, once you save it, let's say for example you just save this one here. Let's go into where am I? Intro. Yeah, let's go down to the Crypts one. All 5 of these files, once you save it, you'll see the date modified is going to be the current date and time right here. And then you're just going to pretty much copy all 3 or all 5 of these saved files and then put them in your patch folder. And that's pretty much what I'm going to end up doing too, but I'm not going to do it because it's going to take too long for all this stuff to load up. I think it's pretty much common sense from what to do here now. So you know which tiles, which variants will work to fix those 2 areas. But now at least you have an idea. So if you run into that issue where you can see rooms beyond walls, you know what's causing it and what you can do to prevent it from happening again. So, alright, anybody got any questions, please leave a comment below, and please leave a like. All that stuff helps me out, guys. And that's it. I'll see you in the next episode.